Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Full Quota Podcast. My name is Mpho and Tim, and I've got Tim DeLace here with me. We are a South African cricket podcast, and we talk all things South African cricket, and we do this every week, and this is your weekly episode. And in order for you to find out more about us, please look for us on X, formerly Twitter, at Full Quota Pod. Subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel, which if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe now. If you're watching on Twitter or X, go to YouTube, subscribe, or follow us, and you'll get it whenever we go live. And then Apple Podcasts and Spotify, if you're running errands and you just need to hear us in your ears perfectly. And then finally, also, we do this without any sponsorship, and we'd appreciate any and every contribution that you could make to the growth of this podcast. We're looking at rebranding, and we will be rebranding at the end of the month, which is exciting, actually. And thanks to all your current contributions that you've done already. Really, really helpful. And also, if you want to give us some feedback on the podcast, sacricketpod@gmail.com. You can also give us commentary on YouTube or all the other platforms. We are good at replying. That is our promise to you, that we are good at replying. Tim, how are you doing?
It's week 2 of Tim's life's falling apart. This week, my phone has malfunctioned. The battery has expanded.
Oh no!
Yeah. So it's week 2 of disaster. But otherwise, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Well, a good thing is if you want to get a hold of Tim, this is the email that he'll respond to that one. But yeah. It's a tough one there, but yeah, look, that's the other thing, right? If you want to help Tim buy a phone, please buy me a coffee, and you can put it in there, Tim's phone. I think we need to start a GoFundMe, and this is the best way to start the GoFundMe for Tim's phone, because we run the podcast off of Tim's phone, right? If we didn't have his phone, all his contacts wouldn't be there. We wouldn't be able to do all the interviews. We wouldn't be able to get all the updates on all the cricket that's happening. SAA's currently playing. We had the Metro T10, which I know Tim did not watch at all. I'm joking, because I know Tim hates T20s, but I think he might like T10s. He hates the 100, which means that he might like a T10. I don't know, but Tim, you'll let us know. Okay.
I was just going to say, if it involves South African cricket, I tend to watch it. That doesn't mean I watched every ball of it, but I do tend to have one eye on it.
Cool. So in news on the go, we had the Metro T10 happening this week, which was a preseason tournament. It was the Lions, the Titans, the Dolphins, and Western Province all played. And it was won by the Dolphins in 2 runs. Surprise, surprise, it was in Durban. So am I shocked? No. But
won by the Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans.
Titans, sorry. Beating the Dolphins. I need to read properly. Yeah, I do apologize. Oh, okay. I'm then really surprised. But yeah, Tim, I take it you took, you watched a little bit. I was peeking my eyes through there. It looks like they did quite well.
I quite enjoyed it. It was obviously an inaugural tournament. I hope it's something that continues. It's a good preseason tournament idea. Also, because the nature of the competition, it wasn't best versus best. A lot of the teams, all the teams, to be fair, had Colts players, academy players, guys that are really on the fringes and not in the official squads of these teams, and mixed with the likes of John Smuts and Slade van Staden and Risa Hendricks. Risa Hendricks was top scorer of the tournament. So there was a nice mix. It showed the new guys coming through, what they need to do, and how they need to conduct themselves. I enjoyed it. For what it was, I did enjoy it, actually. Short, sharp.
It didn't giggle that it was.
3 days, over in 3 days, 2 games a day, bang, bang, bang. Fantastic. Good idea, good initiative, and good to see youngsters coming through, showing their class.
Look, yeah, and that's what it is. Like the top 5 run scorers of the T10, Risa Hendricks scoring 123 runs at a strike rate of 220. Connor Esterhuizen of the Lions, 85 runs at a strike rate of 181, which is what we're looking for, right? Because we're going to talk about a certain team that likes to get humiliated. Oliver Whitehead from Western Province, 74 runs at 185 strike rate. Andile Pehlugwayo, 72 runs at a strike rate of 180. And Lise Malani of the Dolphins, 62 runs at a strike rate of 270. That is ridiculous. And then the top 5 wicket takers, just to go through: Evan Jones of the Lions, 5 wickets at an economy of 9.7. Mtiwe Kayanabe of Western Province, 4 wickets at a strike rate of 7.5. And then there's a whole host of Lions players. Rafiq Patel, 4 wickets at a strike economy rate of 8.1. Sia Plaiki, remember he was at the Warriors last year, and now he's with the Lions. He's also a spin bowler. The Warriors were looking for a black spin bowler, and they left him behind in that whole case that we were talking about. Yeah, him. 4 wickets at an economy rate of 11.6. And then Ngaba Peter, he wasn't selected for SA20, but he took 4 wickets at an economy rate of 14.7. So, yeah, it is a, we saw a lot of youngsters. We saw a lot of fringe players trying to get themselves back in the game, and it's a nice way to get some of the older players some cricket before the season starts, which it's starting in a week and a half's time. So that's the exciting thing about that. Okay, that's the first piece of news. The second piece of news is us then, what's this thing? Is us then talking about the Proteas women before we talk about the Proteas men. So the Proteas women have landed safely in Pakistan. If you follow their social media, they are in Lahore getting ready to play a World Cup warm-up. India and England are playing a World Cup warm-up in India. We decided to go to Pakistan and do that as well. We've got 3 matches happening in Lahore tomorrow. On the 16th at 12:30 p.m. South African time, Friday as well at 12:30, and then on Monday at 12:30. It's going to be interesting to see the combinations. Mandla will be looking to try find his final 11. I think he has an idea. I think we've all have an idea, but we haven't seen this team together with Marizan fully fit and Chloe Tryon coming in. There was a lot of people playing in the 100 and getting injured or being given rest. So it's going to be an opportunity for us to see what this looks like. The interesting thing is, from a batting lineup perspective, Tim, is Karabo Meso. Does she start in a fully fleshed side? Is she your wicketkeeper for 50 overs? Or do you go to Sinalo Jafta? I think the answer is they're probably going to go with Sinalo Jafta, but it's an opportunity to see if that's going to happen. I still think Karabo gives you, you don't lose much. You actually stand to gain from a batting perspective. And then obviously from a bowling perspective is what is our best bowling attack? I think that's going to be quite interesting. And if we can actually restrict and take wickets. So the key to this tournament is for us to take wickets. And then I think the last thing, Tim, is what does Marizan look like? Is she fit? Is she good? Can she be best player of the tournament type of player to help us get as far as possible? The only way I see us getting far in this tournament, in the World Cup, is if Marizan is the best player in the world and if Laura Wolford is the best batter in the world. Those two combinations will get you very, very far. And then you hope the Annika Bosches, the Tamsin Britzes, the Anri Dirksons, the Ayabonga Kakas, the Mlunkuleko Mlabas come through and then make sure that they solidify that for you. What do you make of Proteas women and their games coming up, Tim?
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous. I'm glad they're having this little preseason tournament for the World Cup, the series, but I'm a little bit apprehensive what to expect in those conditions. Look, as you say, we could go far if everything goes our way and we see the best of, as you say, Laura and Marizan. I'm just not convinced that we're going to on a consistent basis, which is what you need, particularly in the 50-over format. I agree. I would start with Karabo. I don't think she will. I think they're going to go with Sinalo, and I think that would be the wrong decision, but that's what I think Mandla's going to go. I think this is the time now. We need to make hard decisions. Forget Karaba's age. Forget her international inexperience. You know she's good enough. You know she's ready. If you didn't, you wouldn't be in the squad.
Yeah.
She is the better of the two. She's got the bigger ceiling. She is the better and wicketkeeper. She should play, but she won't.
That's the problem. But I do think she should. But I'm with you there on that one. But yeah, it's just a question of, for me, it's you kind of have a sense of, if we want to have a good tournament, there's certain players who need to play, right? We spoke about Marizanne, Mlaba, Volfart. Those three kind of need to go there. But it's the ladies around them that, for me, is an intriguing thing. Yeah, I know we want to watch Marizanne, but I want to see what Aya looks like. Are her paces up? Are we going to try Dumi? Because there's this idea that Dumi can bowl on these slower wickets. But I sit there going, she's a fast bowler, and I'm not sure if she's going to get as much joy on these wickets. Even though it's probably the best place for her to bowl. But from a pace perspective, I'm not so sure. And those are the things that I like to see, because I'm worried about this team's bowling. I think this team can put down numbers, can put down runs. The problem is on the outside, can you defend? And for me, that's my big worry. But it is a World Cup. We're excited. We want to see this team, want to see how good they look, and hopefully they can come through for us as a Proteas team. So good luck to them on that tournament. Oh, well, this little game against Pakistan. You should beat Pakistan all three games. The issue with the only way Pakistan, I think, will win is if the spinners come through. Nidadar, and some of their spinners, and they start to bamboozle the ladies in terms of flight and guile and spin and all of that. That's been a problem we've had. Even in the men's side, there's a problem, but I'm assuming this is some sort of a spin camp too, Tim, to help everyone, because we're going to play in Sri Lanka, we're going to play in India as well.
Yeah, it's where you should go if you're going to be playing a prelim tournament to the main show. This is where you play. You don't go and play England as preparation. Yeah, that's a good opposition to play, but those conditions are going to be so different to what we're going to be experiencing in the World Cup. So, good decision to get this series nailed down.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, good position for us to be in. Okay, Tim. Let's talk about what we want to talk about, and I think why the fans are here, or why you are all here. I think the title of this podcast is "Should We Be Worried About the Proteas Men?" Yeah. Okay. So they won the first T20. It was a blitzkrieg. We actually spoke about it. We liked it. We liked to see the Darden come in with a 200-run strike rate, 200% strike rate. It was a 10-over thriller, but they still did put down a very, very competitive score. England, on the other hand, struggled, and we bowled well, and we managed to contain them. If it's a 5-over thriller, it was a little bit tough for them, obviously. But yeah, they were, I don't know, they just didn't care. And then the second T20. And I don't know how many records were broken, Tim.
I don't care.
There were a lot of records, right? So this is the highest ever. So England scored 304 on South Africa, right? The first one is the ODI team. South Africa's ODI team struggles to score 300 in 50 overs. These men were out here. Like, after they scored 50 after 2 overs, I sat there going, that's 4. Then they got to 106. And then I sat there going, they could get to 300. That was the first time I thought they could get to 300. And Phil Salt just had an assault on everybody. The only player I think was happy, who had a great performance on Friday, it was Corbin Bosch, because he was nowhere near this drama at all. On a day where, if you were a bowler, your stats were going to get broken into pieces. And yeah, but look, outside of the flat pitch, the bowling wasn't there. We're bowling, we had no set. Look, I do get once you get attacked the way Phil Salt attacked us in those first 2 overs with Jansen and Rabada, you kind of don't know where to go. But there was a point where, that game yesterday or Friday was about skills. It was about being able to utilize your skills in order to 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 bamboozle, to give the batter something different, right? And it's not necessarily line and length or short or thing. It was actually pace. Be able to pace on, pace off, pace on, pace off. Archer gave us a masterclass in bowling, pace on and pace off in when we were batting. But nonetheless, largest total in a T20 by a full member nation. That's a test playing nation, because Zimbabwe have the record of 344 against, I don't know who they were playing, but you get the gist, right? It was obviously South Africa's largest ever total ever conceded in T20s, and it was beaten by like 13 runs. I think India scored 287 last year against us. And so my thing is the T20 side just likes being humiliated, right? Last year, India came for a 4-match T20 series and scored 200, 200, 200, 200. There was a game where we batted first and we got bowled out, but they scored 200 every time they batted first. And my thing is, and maybe it's to your question, right? Should we be worried? Yes, I think we should be worried. I just don't understand. So I said this last year. That's the standard of T20s. That's the proper standard of where T20s need to be. You need to be aggressive. You need to show caution to the wind. Unfortunately, it's not consistent. But what I can say is there's a chance of you succeeding in this way than in the traditional way where you're playing for a 160, 180, and maybe if it's a good total, 200. 200 is still a good total, but what that T20 on Friday showed me is at World Cup tournaments, I think the ICC is going to want pitches like that. Yes, the balance is off completely between batter and bowler, but that type of a game with those runs being scored, with the best teams in the world playing, a 500 run, 600 run T20 on the cards, that is something that they want to sell. And so if you want to come and say, yeah, maybe, it was a bad day for the bowlers and all of that, I think there's going to be more of that going forward than the 160s, 150s, and the 180s. I think we're done there. I think a good score in T20 now will be 200 to 20, and you are then have to secure yourself a win, making sure that you can defend 220 or score like how England did, try and get to 300. If you can score 100 in a power play on a flat pitch, that's the type of thing that you want to kind of give yourself a chance in this game. And I think, South Africa from ball one were just way behind. If you look at that power play score for South Africa, we got to 66 runs for 3. England got to 100 runs. 66 runs 2 years ago is great, but 100 is exceptional. And look, if this is not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. When we say we want high strike rate batters, this is what we're looking to. And maybe it's tournaments like the T10 that will help batters get to that point in South Africa. Like if I'm a batter watching that game, that is where I need to try and mold my game over and above the traditional way of doing things. Our bowling lineup will not be as humiliated like they were again. Actually, they might. I don't want to say that, but there's still a good bowling attack to do that. And I look at England's one and I was like, the runs on the board created all the pressure that they needed, right? And yes, Jofra is out of this world. He's otherworldly, but he won't get England and Jofra all the time because he's injured half the time anyway. But that's suffice to say, that's where our batters need to get to. Deva Brevis has that idea. Luandre, they did have that idea, but I think he's taken a step back. Aiden, Tristan, Ricks need to get there. And I know Shukri at the last in Australia said these players need to show off. England showed off. Phil Salt showed off. Butler showed off. They all pulled their weight here. Jacob Bethel put in something here. Harry Brook with the 41 of 21. That's what you need to do. I don't think we have the players to do this. That's why I'm worried, because I think there'll be more humiliations like this going forward than the normal T20 happening.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think you're right about the progression of T20 cricket. This is just my personal opinion. If I know a game's going to be 9 overs, I switch it off. Now, because South Africa were playing and because I do this podcast, I watched it. But in normal circumstances, I switch that off. Any team, makes 300 in T20, I switch off. I switch off well before they make 300. It bores the living daylights out of me. The idea of 550 in a T20 just bores the living daylights out of me. But they're not selling it to me, so they don't care. They're not selling it to me. So that's important. And I'm selling it to somebody else. But on the actual performances, if this happened to Rob Walter,
you'd want him to be fired.
Yes, X would be losing their mind over what.
Well, technically, we did want him to be fired after India because that's happened too.
Yeah, so just put it into context. 24th of August, we lost to Australia by 276 runs in the third ODI. On the 7th of September, we lost to England by 342 runs in the third ODI. And in the second T20, on the 12th of September, we lost to England by 146 runs. That's 3 groundbreaking losses in 3 weeks. The nature of white ball cricket, in particular T20 cricket, there are going to be fluctuations. There are going to be collapses. There are going to be surprising losses. But those losses, I tend to put the Australian first one in a little bit of an asterisk because their bowling lineup was just ridiculous. But the other 2, they should be sending alarm bells to Shukri. They genuinely do, because that is not something that and I'm sure he doesn't stand for it. But the longer that happens, the more consistently that happens, it's going to become a problem for him. It is going to become a problem for him. You're right to put in on the certain players. I now have certain questions on certain players. Luandre, I don't know what your term you use. Gardening leave? I'm now saying to Luandre, you're trying too hard. Well, I don't want to say. I mean,
he's absent without leave. He's AWOL. He's not on gardening leave. He's AWOL.
So he's trying too hard. He's clearly trying too hard. So I'm going and I'm picking somebody else in his place at this time and point in the T20 cricket. Well, my mind is now. Oh yes. So I'm still going youth. I think he might not do that, but I'm still going youth. So I'm going Ruben. Ruben goes in for Luandre. And I do have question marks over Ricks at the moment. I know the talent.
Yeah.
I've got a problem. I've got a problem with Ricks. Ricks, he's got to start scoring runs, and he's got to start scoring them quickly. On the bowling, you're right, the pitch was flat, but the bowling was tired. The bowling was really, really poor. And we're talking, out of those 3 losses, we're talking probably the best bowling lineup possible that we had. In terms of experience, in terms of know-how, in terms of what they've done in the past.
So you're missing 2 bowlers who I think now need to be respected after this. You're missing Lungi and you're missing Corbin.
Yes.
No,
So
I'm
yeah,
joking. I'm joking because we had
I
Kagiso, we had Marco, we had Kwena, we
no
had
no
Bjorn. Even though Kesha's not there, Bjorn is like carbon copy. Yes, right.
exactly. Yeah. And what
Please,
worried me
God.
was lack of plan B. If you look at England, England had lots of different plans. We went back of a length and we staggered
Mm-hmm.
back of a length. We never went full. We never went wide yorkers. We very, very seldom went slow balls. That to me is a concern. That to me is a concern. Um, but I will also give them one out. After that
Mm-hmm.
second game, that horrific loss, they asked Aiden, so are you boys gonna go back to the nets? And you could see his eyes were going, no boy. We this team is tired. There are certain individuals that have been there since Australia that they are definitely feeling the strain of playing
Are the batters
week
tired
in,
or are
week
the
out.
bowlers tired? Because Kagiso's been injured and he's now obviously come back from injury and this thing. So, yes, he did travel with the team to Australia and everything else, but he didn't play in the ODI series. Marco's only playing in the T20s. He also came back from injury. Is he tired? Lazard didn't play at all. And he's coming in. I don't think he's tired. The only person who can possibly say he's tired is Kwena, because Kwena went to Zim, he went to thingy, but he hasn't bowled well. And somehow, in the worst game ever for South African cricket, he is the best bowler. So I don't buy it. Then on the batting side, let's go through that, right? Aiden can say he's tired. It's not my fault that you want to play international T20s and IPL. That's not on us, right?
Yeah.
And you were given 2 months off, right? You didn't go to Zim. Ricks, same thing. You didn't go to Zim. The person who can say he's tired is Luandre, but the only problem is the young man, outside of that 170 that you scored in Zim, there's nothing else. There really is nothing else. Devalt, up and down, but Devalt is trending upwards, right? As I said, it's not linear. He's up and down, but he's trending upwards. It's just that depth. We spoke about it last week. It's depth. Like, you need to identify. So here's the thing that irritated me about the batting performance on Friday, Tim. One person can go, two people can go out to a slow ball. Not all of you guys in the top six. The moment they just gave you a cut, I don't know how to play a cutter. I wanted pace on. I understand you're trying to be aggressive, right? But the thing about that Phil Salt thing was whatever we threw at him, with cutter, be it wide Yorker, be it whatever, he identified it very quickly and he put it away. Josh Butler, and you can say that possibly, Phil Salt is out of this world. Where do we rank our players? Do we have an X Factor player? I can say maybe you can say Devil Brevis could, be in those echelons of Butler and the Phil Salt. You can even say that's an anomaly, but Phil Salt is there. Tilak Varma is one of those players who can, break a game open for you and take it away. We watched him here do it in South Africa. There's a couple of Indian players that can do that. There's a couple of Australian players that can do that, the Travis Heads of this world. Do we have that type of player, Tim? Because I look here, I go, Markram, no. Ricks can't find the middle of his bat. Luandre, we thought he could, but currently he's getting out to slow balls and things that are straight because we don't know why. Devil Brevis is up and down. He's not at that level yet where you can put him in there, but still a very exciting X-Factor player, but everyone else needs to come to the party to help him. Stubbs somehow has regressed from that Stubbs that we thought could be that destructive guy. Donovan Ferreira, he was the only guy who did something, 23 of 11. Stubbs is out here playing test match cricket. You guys are complaining that Timber's strike rate is not 100 in ODIs. Well, what is Stubbs? 23 of 25 in a game where you're chasing 304. I'd rather you get out early and walk away. And to a certain extent, I kind of look at Aiden's one. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. 41 of 20. You tried. You gave us a foundation. That's your job, right? Rick's as well, 20 of 10. It's a 200 strike rate. I can't fault you for that, even though it's a summer of lean runs. And then you go to the 2 and 2s, the 4 and 3s, 23 of 21, of 25. Donovan Ferreira, 23 of 11. So well done, Don, 100 strike rate. And then here's the other fun one. Bjorn for 10 was like, don't leave me out of this. I can also do this. 32 of 16. You do you, bro, Bjorn. I like that. I want more of that. And then even KG came with the 200% strike rate, but 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, and 5. Don't tell me about David Miller. Don't tell me about how great. Like, we know the talent of this top 6, but there's a point where they're going to have to step up. And my worry is this, right? I was okay losing and we got to 225. I'm like, yeah, we tried, right? That's the limit. And you'll never get a 300. The 300 is an anomaly already. But you're going to be fighting on the 225s. You're going to be fighting on the 250s. And this was a great opportunity to say, leave the result aside. Let's try bat as aggressively as we can. And let's try and make sure that we get to 200. Because like I'm saying with the ODIs, you need to consistently be hitting 340. Consistently. For you to win that World Cup in 2027, you need to be batting first, putting down 340, or being able to chase a 340. But there's one thing that this trip to Australia and England has told me. We still don't know how to clear. We still have demons chasing. Be it T20, be it thingy. The games we win are the games where we bat first. Or if we bowled first and our bowlers have done an amazing thing, but that happened once. That was Australia with that 100, or twice. Australia and England, the first 2 games, right? Outside of that, right, of the other 4 games of the 6, we batted once. We batted first twice of those, and we won those. And then the other ones, we just got humiliated. Actually, no, it's one. We won one of those, and then we lost the T20s. So because we went 2-1 against Australia in the T20s, so a lot of cricket's happened. 12 games, like a lot of games. But what I'm telling you is, this team can't chase, and this team can't set. If you ask this team if they could do 3 or 4, they wouldn't. That I can guarantee you. Even with rank bowling, like for instance, if we played Zimbabwe, we wouldn't get to 3 or 4. We did play Zimbabwe on flat wickets.
It's because we can't go for 15 overs. We can't go in 5th gear. We don't have. We can. We choose not to. We sort of go semi-big in the power play, and then as soon as the power play ends, we go conserve. Must have wickets at the end to go big at the last 5. That's what we're doing. That's kind of 2015. That's what we're doing, especially in T20 cricket.
Yeah. Look, our cricket is stuck in like the dark ages. Like, yeah, it's bad. And to a certain extent, should we be worried? Hell yeah. That T20 World Cup next year, folks, we're going to be embarrassed to the core. I know this because if you look at the pitches that the IPL was being played on, only a few venues were the bowlers able to like come in and restrict people to under 200, but the average scores they were above 200. Then you'll tell me about the substitution thing with the impact play and all of that. We get that. But if England can get to 3 or 4, what do you think India's going to do to you? What do you think Australia is going to do to you? And the goal here is not to make semi-finals. We've been making semi-finals. We know this. The goal is to win. How do we win? Because even with supposedly the best bowling attack that we have, and we trust our bowling attack, they're still considered 304. And to a certain extent, the Shukri mojo is going to go very quickly. Because, yes, when the other thing is we're not playing test cricket here. So there's nothing we can fall onto. We still have the World Cup glow. We're still glowing. We're still pretty. We're still awesome with the World Test Championship glow. But it's losses like this that make you feel sick inside. We drew the T20 series, but did we really draw the T20 series? Just like the ODI series we won. Did we really win the ODI series? When we were humiliated 3 games out of the 12. A quarter of the tour to Australia and England, we was humiliated so much that chasing, we couldn't even get to halfway of the runs that were set by the other team. That is an indictment. And yes, you can say after they said the 3-4, the game was gone. But then it's a coaching point to then say, let's try something different. Let's try get to that fifth gear that you speak of, Tim. Let's try, see if they can score 3 or 4. Let's see if we can't get to 225. Right? Even if we lose the game, you come out there, Aiden, and say, no, like, look, we knew that, these things happened and it was this, we thought we could get there, but we ended up landing at 225. That's a valiant effort. 171, what we build up for? 158. I was telling Lubabalo, who is a fan of the show and also has a podcast, check him out as well. He was shocked, and I was like, look, we're only going to get to 160. Like, I don't understand why we're worried, and I understand why we're watching, because we're only going to get there. And lo and behold, 160. Because it's like I'm watching a Mark Boucher side. It's like I'm back to the Mark Boucher times, where we literally went to a press conference and said, 160, 170, that's our range. And yeah, Tim, I'm just lost for words. I'm tired of being humiliated. It's those 4 games against India. It's this now. Like, and we thought it would change with Shukri. We thought Rob was the problem. But clearly, something's different. We thought SA20 would change us. SA20 would make us better. Unfortunately, Tim, it has not.
It makes the individual player better, not the team. That's the issue.
So you see why when I then say, go talk to Heinrich, try to bring him back. Go talk to that old man Faf and say, there's a spot for you in this team. There definitely is.
There definitely is. On the evidence we saw in Australia and England, the definitely
and
is.
Then I also might as well start selling tickets and bring AB back. Because definitely those stadiums are going to be full if AB comes back into the side. There's another revenue point for CSA. And obviously AB de Villiers, we saw that with him beating old men. But I'm assuming with Joffrey Archer, he'd do the same. It's quicker. Maybe he could do it. I don't know. And so don't come at me with young people and be like, no, where are the youngsters? We've given them a chance. They're failing. Do you want to continue with them failing in this thing? Or do you want to go back to behind the classroom and say, we apologize. Here's what you take whatever you need. Because quite frankly, right now, if we go to England and this is our top 6, to India and this is our top 6, we're not winning. And unfortunately, I don't think we have time. Tim?
What's that?
No, I'm just saying, do you have anything to add? Because I'm tired of talking about this purchase.
No, I don't have anything to add, and I am similarly worried about the white ball side. I don't have anything to add, but I am concerned. I am concerned. And I actually think that the losses that I mentioned, I think they precipitate some kind of a change. I don't think you can go with the same 11 or 12 in Pakistan. I really don't.
You can't think
whether he brings in back Russi or Ruben or whoever, he's got to make some changes, definitely.
Oh, Reza. Reza scored 123 runs on a strike rate of 220. If you tell him to do that and tell him it's a T10, maybe we can get something. I don't know. But yeah, something's got to give. Something's got to change. And yeah, Shuki's got a lot of work to do. It's very, very frustrating. And I understand he likes to back the players, but I think he might be running out of time in this format as well. And I understand he's only been in the job for 6 months, so we need to be patient. We need to do all that. But we wouldn't be doing our job if we weren't throwing our toys out the cart by conceding 300 runs in a T20. There's no trust the process there. There isn't trust the process when you concede 304 runs. It makes for a good story when we win the World Cup and be like, yo, remember that day we considered 304 runs, but look, here we are. We beat England in the World Cup final. Yeah, that could work too. But in white ball formats, unfortunately, I don't think we have that much to give you. but we'll trust the process. It's not looking good. It really isn't looking good. And yeah, high alert right now. High alert. Actually, not high, like medium orange alert, because you're 6 months into the job and you're trying to find the people.
Like a 6 out of 10.
Yes. But yeah, Rob right now, Rob Walters, Corbin Bosch, Lungi Giti, sitting there on some, yeah? Yeah? It's what we try to tell you. Yeah, well, look, I think, yeah, Lungi, we need to fix your fitness issues because, yeah, that's the other thing. What's going on with all these injuries? Like, where's the physio? What's going on? It's like Arsenal in the early 2000s, just injuries everywhere. Like, what's going on? Is like, do we need a five? Okay, I don't want to say that because we know who the physio is. We're not doing that. But also cause for concern.
It's a cause for concern.
Tim.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're just all concerned. We're all mad. You know, like, I hate losing to England. Okay. Let's move to the end of the show. We did let you guys know that we want to do a communities page. And so we've got a communities page advert to do. Whoop, whoop. Pop up. So to our friends at the Mpumalanga Rhinos, they are looking to have a preseason getaway. Or no, team build. It's not a getaway, it's team build. At the Kruger National Park, right around the corner, yes. And they're looking for some donations. So they're open to donations to support their journey. They were a really great cricket side. They really did well last year. They actually punched above their weight with a lot of great wins. And they're looking to do the same. And yeah, you know, maybe, yeah, consider donating. Maybe they might, put your name as a sponsor somewhere on a shirt or something. I don't know. But this is a great cause because I think this team is really awesome. And I think Division 2 needs to be supported as much as they can. Obviously, the details are there at the bottom for our Apple Podcast and Spotify people. You can call Coach Mbasa at 083-580-6657 and also Coach Kharat at 083-401-0635 to donate. Any contribution is accepted here to help them on their journey. And maybe, you never know, you might just get a young feature somewhere, or even like a cap or trophy or a kit. I don't know. But yeah, this sounds like something that we should rally around, especially as South African cricket, because I think we need to push Division 2 and help fund Division 2 as much as we can.
Yeah, look, the very fact that a professional team has to do this, it's a cause of a concern, personally. But as I said many times for this podcast, we will always fight for Division 2 for as long as it is here. Hopefully it will stay. And it would be great if Mpumalanga could get on that trip because as somebody who has been to Kruger and goes to Kruger on a regular basis, it is a fantastic experience. So I hope it goes through, the donations go through, and they can have a great team building weekend for the upcoming season.
Yeah, no, Tim, that's something we hope that they can do. Yeah. Look, we'll be back sometime this week talking all things. The season's starting soon, so we still have to do a season preview. The Proteas women are also playing, so we'll probably do a rant similar to this, probably next week Monday, once everything settles down and we're walking to the World Cup. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Should we be worried about the Proteas men and the white ball size? Yeah, just let us know on our various platforms. Remember, please do like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us at Full Quota Pod on X and also Apple Podcasts and Spotify for all our audio listeners. And then remember, lastly but not least, please help us to buy some coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Full Quota Podcast. And then you can email us, sacricketpod@gmail.com for all your queries. We answer everywhere, comments, YouTube, everything. So that's what it is. But Tim, do you have any final words, or shall we let the people watch the cricket in peace this week?
Watch the cricket in peace, but if you are looking to watch cricket, go to the Cricket South Africa YouTube page. It's day 2 of the second 4-day game between New Zealand A and South Africa A. We're getting our asses kicked again, but all the same, watch it. There's a few good players there that made changes to the second game. I thought we would see improvement. It's been tough going, but watch that, and we will be back very, very soon.
Tim, I'm just tired of getting humiliated. Really, really am. But anyway, so are you, the fans. So yeah, please, till the next time, stay safe and lesale. Kakagiso.